So we are in Lausanne, Switzerland. Let's talk a little bit about Lausanne and this castle that we're staying at. First things first, we took the 11:30 a.m. train from Geneva to Lausanne, right? So I think it was about maybe a 30-minute journey. I think that the thing that you probably need to know the most is that if you decide to do this sort of travel from city to city, it is super easy. We have really heavy luggage. That's probably the worst part of it, is sort of lugging this luggage around. But traveling from Geneva to Lausanne, super easy, super quick. Enough of a ride to see some, nice little sights. It was a double-decker train. We did sit at the bottom because we didn't want to lug our luggage to the top. People were racing to the top. We did sit in like business or premium seating. We used a travel agent whose information I will place in the description of this. If you are looking for travel to Switzerland, it would be my recommendation to, if you're not gonna watch this video, is to use the travel agent that we use, because she has gotten it so amazing. If you guys hear a little noise in the background, that is actually because, again, we're in a castle, or what used to be a castle, right? I mean, it is immaculate. It is immaculate. And I am in one of the rooms at the top, and the window is slightly open, letting in a nice little breeze, because I like it to be cold when I sleep. And you can hear literally the waves from, I believe this is Lake Geneva. And it's just beautiful, man. It is so nice to be able to look out and see the ocean and the Alps, literally right outside your window. It is beautiful. So we get to Lausanne, and Lausanne to me definitely feels more maybe small town, local. That may not be the correct terminology, but I'm just giving you my feelings about it. And I think whereas Geneva felt more, I would say, cosmopolitan, this definitely feels, it just kind of feels like really European. That's the best way that I can put it. The architecture is amazing. I feel like everywhere we have been here, I'm gonna let you guys know, like, everybody has been friendly, super friendly. Anyone that works in service has been super helpful, super nice. And maybe it's because, me and Aria, who I'm traveling with, we both have a very similar disposition, which is just that of like, we try to put out good energy as well. So maybe that's what's coming back to us. But I generally get the sense that people here that work in the service industry really just want to provide good service. And another thing that I did notice here is when we got lunch, like, no one was on their phones. You go to eat in the States and it's like half, if not 90% of the people are on their phones at the table together. But no, everyone has been like, when I've been out, I've seen, of course, occasionally people are on their phones, obviously, but for the most part, like here in Lausanne, I feel like the restaurants are alive with people actually just having conversation. They're laughing, they're talking. We got here, we checked into the hotel. The room wasn't actually ready when we first got here, so we did have drinks downstairs in the lobby. I've had copious amounts of caffeine, which is interesting because it hasn't had the same effect on me as it does when I'm home in the United States. Maybe there's something a little different about the coffee here. I'm not necessarily sure, because even when I get the coffee black, it seems like the coffee ain't really black. It seems like it's brown. And I know that's a really interesting color distinction, but it also, I feel like, is reflective of the taste. I feel like coffee here is not as bitter as it is in the States for some reason. I don't know, that could just be me. I noticed that I'm also lactose intolerant in general, and I have been using cream in my coffee and I've been totally fine. I've had zero gastrointestinal issues the entire time that I've been here. Today for lunch we had crepes with, mine had cheese and an egg as well as chorizo. Amazing, completely, like, it was so amazing. We were able to walk around Lake Geneva and the sights it's just beautiful. And to see the people outside just walking around, you see people running. This place just feels so alive, but in a very different way. It doesn't feel so technology focused or driven. It feels people driven. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comment section if that makes any sense, because I know I'm giving you guys my general feelings with these sorts of videos. I think it's super important for me, at least for what I'm trying to do, to give you guys not only the sort of vlog style experience, but I also want to give you the conversational recap for the day, simply because I do think that my reflections here will give you more of not only the visual that you get with the vlog, but also the sort of interpersonal feeling that I got, right? I was a little annoyed that my room wasn't ready at first, because it wasn't ready for quite some time, but it could have been because somebody was checking out and they wanted to make sure that it was clean. When I got into the room, I can tell you that this room is spotless, okay? And what I love here that I don't always get at home is the little mini bar is complimentary. Like, I'm not paying anything additional. When we booked this trip, when we booked it through the travel agent, all of the hotels, we've already paid for everything in advance. So they do take the credit card for like incidentals. I guess maybe you want to get a drink at the bar and put it on the room. I really don't know, but then it's refunded back to your card if you didn't spend anything extra. And so to enter the hotel room and to have like, there's a whole box of tea here, like different types of tea, like the type of like when you go to a restaurant and you say, can I have some tea? And they say, well, what kind? And you're like, oh, well, I don't know, what do you have? And they're like, well, let me bring you the box. The camera is sitting on top of the tea box, literally. There's obviously a coffee and espresso machine, and then there is Coke and water to drink, and I think there's even like a beer in there. I ain't even a big beer drinker, but because it's in there, baby, I might just open it, okay? There's a writing table here. I would consider it a writing table because I feel like this would be the perfect place to come and like finish my book. If I was like, when I start my next book, or as I'm writing my screenplays, or I've got some work to do for a screenplay that I'm working on now, but I think it's the perfect place to just sit and write. So the room is a little smaller than the last two rooms, but I can see why, because if you're building rooms in a castle and it has slanted walls, that is something that would probably take a little getting used to, because I think it does impact the space in the room, but it does not impact the comfort, if that gives you guys any idea of the feeling of the room. You would have seen, if you've seen the room tour video for this vlog series here in Lausanne, then you'll know exactly what I mean. It is indeed a castle in every sense of the word, but they've updated this castle, and it's nice. It's really, really nice. Obviously, I have my own room. Aria has her own room. You know, we could have actually roomed together. When she was initially booking the trip, she had booked it to actually room with another friend of hers, and then I was gonna have my own room, and later on in the trip there will be more. But honestly, for me to have my own room on a trip, it's kind of nice because me and Aria, we talk all day long. We just left a pizza place for dinner, and we had so many good conversations, and I just feel like there's always new stuff to talk about every time we sit down and have a conversation. I love having a friend like that, but it's also nice to be able to kind of come back to the room and decompress. I have not turned on a television. Well, I did turn on the TV in Geneva on the last night, simply because the TV was built into the mirror, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm watching, but why not, okay? But yeah, so Lausanne to me, day one it's been interesting, because I did need a period of downtime today, and Aria, she continued to explore, you know, walk around, and I just needed a minute to like gather myself, because I feel like I had been just going and going and going, and then collapsing each night. And so it was nice to kind of have like a couple of hours downtime. I am gonna go to the spa tomorrow. We have a wine tour tomorrow, so I will definitely have a lot to tell you about for that. I'm gonna obviously vlog it, then obviously come back and give you guys the experience. But so we have that tomorrow. They're coming to pick us up at 10, so I want to get up at like 7 and maybe do a little bit of work. I said I wasn't, the work that I'm doing right now, obviously this is work, but for those of you guys who are familiar with my news channel, I may watch Married to Medicine and recap that. I'm not really sure. I really wanted to stay consistent with that because the reunion is happening, but that's for the reality TV folks. This all is all about travel. So I may get up in the morning about 7, do some work. I think they have a gym here. I did bring workout clothes. I have not worked out, so I may do that. And then they come and pick us up for our private wine tour at 10 a.m. and that is for, I think, about 3 hours. So afterwards, we talked about doing the spa, which is like they have a sauna. I think you can get massages and that sort of thing. So I think that'll be tomorrow afternoon and evening. It'll be just kind of like more relaxation than anything else. So yeah, I mean, that's day 1 in Lausanne. I hope that if you have watched this vlog, I hope it inspires you to come to visit Switzerland, because especially for people who look like me in terms of like, you know, Black people in general, what I love about, and I hope that anybody who's watching this, any nationality, race, whatever you are, is that when you come to Switzerland, my experience has been that everyone is welcoming. And to feel how I have felt here it's super impactful to me, super impactful. And I think when you experience this, you leave a changed person. And I wanted to do this because I just wanted to hopefully inspire somebody to travel to someplace new and discover something that maybe you never had seen before, or maybe you just saw it on Instagram, because that's what happened to me. I kept seeing Switzerland all last year, and I believe in the power of manifestation. I believe in abundance, and I knew I would be here. So that's it for this vlog. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you are watching this, whatever medium you're watching this, hopefully you'll continue to watch the series. We have literally several more cities to go to. We have like at least, this is a couple of weeks of travel. So I'm super excited to start posting these. What I've decided to do is I'll post after I leave the city. I think that's just probably the smartest thing to do. And yeah, be on the lookout for the next vlog, and I will catch you in the next video.